just keep it internal first. And so the recording button is it's on, and then let me take this opportunity to welcome all of you to this historic virtual gathering of the West Africa Youth Network Alumni Gathering 2020 from all over the world. I am super excited to see all of you. Some I haven't seen God for over 19 years, and today, because of technology, we are all able to see each other and we are interacting. So, but before we begin, first of all, I'm still waiting for Richelieu to log in. I think it's trying to use other means, but somebody is helping him, so everything will be fine. But I want to say that it's a pleasure that this idea from our sister Bintu Diallo, Atam, Richelieu, and myself to come out with this virtual gathering of individuals who have worked in different areas of youth development across the West African sub-region through to the African continent, and now many of us are doing some amazing things globally. So I am so excited and so happy that we've all been able to gather here. Before we go on, I think it is proper that we go around to introduce ourselves, just a way of recapping each other, and then we can have fun. So you all know me already. My name is Samuel Jacobs-Abbey. I was officially with the WAYN Ghana, so originally from Ghana, currently a base here in Washington, D.C. area in the United States of America, working as a policy advisor, a public health policy advisor, and run the Jacobs-Abbey Global Institute for Leadership Studies. But whilst I was with the West Africa Youth Network, I happened to be the liaison officer to ECOWAS, and also was the editor of West Africa Youth Network. So, I mean, 90 years on, I am so excited that we've all gathered again to celebrate what we did. And so that's a short introduction of me, and I want to move forward so that it's involuntary. Just mention your name and then you can introduce yourself. Most of you are muted, so you unmute yourself to talk and then you mute yourself back. Thank you.
Awesome.
All right, you can go ahead and introduce yourselves. Or maybe.
Good afternoon. I'm Steven Fasholio, West Africa Youth Network, Sierra Leone, Freetown.
Okay.
Hey, Steve, how are you?
I'm good.
Good to see you, brother. Great. Who will be next?
Myself. Good afternoon, everyone. From here. So, this is Francis. Hello.
Yeah, Francis, go ahead.
Hello.
So this is Francis Akwa Akins Jr. Yes, I joined this network many years ago in 2004 in Sierra Leone with Jacob Atabeka, Francis Abayomi, and many others. That was my first introduction to the network. And when he came back to Ghana, Jacob and I and Zuberu and others. And yeah, we started something here. So it's been quite an interesting journey. I'm still with WANEP till now, but in the next couple of weeks, recently I was the coordinator of WANEP at ECOWAS, the liaison office of WANEP at ECOWAS Commission in Abuja. And in the next couple of weeks, I'm joining GIZ Peace and Security Operations at the ECOWAS Commission in the next couple of weeks. Wow. So this is how far we have come, and it's good to see everyone. I see Dr. Collins, Imo on the platform as well. It's been great. I've been meeting him in Abuja in recent times, working together. So it's good that we kept the network till now. Good to see everyone.
Good to see you, Francis. Good to see
Francis,
you.
how?
I am fine. Oh, Bintu.
Francis, since you called my name, so let me do my
Good to see all of you.
Hello. Hello, Francis.
Yes. Hey,
Francis.
Sami,
how are you?
I'm fine.
Long time. Sami,
yes.
How are you?
This is great. It's good to
This is Francis Abayomi from Nigeria. My name is Francis Abayomi from Nigeria. Good to see you after 19 years. I'm happy to see every one of you. Francis from Ghana, you're welcome.
Thank you. Great.
Yeah.
Good. Great. Good to see
Sami,
you.
over to you. Sami,
All right,
over
great.
to you.
Yes, you can still go ahead. Others, you can just call your name and just introduce yourself in no particular order. Gloria, you can go ahead.
Okay. My name is Gloria Anderson. I was with you in Freetown, and then the conference we had in Ghana. It was a wonderful time, and it whipped up my interest to study more about security, gender, and peace issues. I've met Francis on quite different platform, and it's amazing to see all of you again. It's amazing to see all of you again.
Yes.
Sami, kudos to you and the team for putting this together.
Yes,
it's not been easy. It's really great.
Thank you. All right, Professor Collins, you were going to say something.
Oh, okay, thank you, Sami. You know, since Francis have decided to call my name, I thought, okay, let me join the chorus of introduction. You know, Francis is our guy. You know, when I went to Abuja recently, you know, I went to ECOWAS, and the man had a very big office there. And now here he's telling us, so please, those of you, if you pass through Abuja, please go to ECOWAS. Now he's telling us he's moving even from ONEP to GIZ, so moving from ECOWAS to Germany. So that's a whole lot of stuff. But he's still in ECOWAS.
But I'll still be in ECOWAS Commission.
That's what I'm saying now. That's what I'm saying.
Political Affairs Directorate.
What it means that you are going to have a bigger office. so he's leaving West Africa and he's going to join GIZ. So it's going to be a bigger office. You know?
Yeah, Doc, but I'll still be in ECOWAS at the Political Affairs Directorate. Just shifting from early warning to Political Affairs. I'll still be in the commission. Yes.
Awesome. That's very good. You know. Yeah. So my name is Dr. Collins Imo. I've been involved in youth programming in Africa, West Africa. I was the African Desk Coordinator for UNOY Foundation, and I've been, you know, working from the office in Netherlands, coordinating the whole of their project in Africa. I've been involved a lot in youth program in West Africa and Africa. You know, currently I do a lot of international. So it's a pleasure to connect with all you wonderful guys after a long time. Thanks the team for making this possible. We hope we make this an annual event and see how we can mentor, you know, other youth people, young people, you know, in the region, so that what we benefited from, they can also benefit from. So thank you very much. That's my name is Collins Imo.
Thank you so much, Professor Collins. Great to have you. All right, Silvanos Ayeni, you can go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't even add about Sam Ismail.
Oh, look at this one now.
You know, I forgot to acknowledge Sam. You know, Ismail. Sam, thanks for putting
look
all this together.
You know who my guy is. My guy is Bintu. She's there. So wait. Silvanos Ayeni, you can go ahead.
Oh, good day, everybody. My name is Silvanos Ayeni, and this is new to me. I got the information about this meeting from the African Diaspora Symposium WhatsApp information we sent to each other through Dr. Shem Uchodro, you know, in Kenya.
Yes, in Kenya, yeah.
So I live in Maryland, and I came to the United States about 45 years ago, 1975. I'm a retired neurosurgeon. Ooh. But I have been involved in development issues in Africa, mostly in education and health. And I run a nonprofit education of children. So I just want to be, I'm not going to say anything. I just want to listen to you. This is, as I said, this is my first time of coming here. And I really commend you for what you are doing. I think the nations need your generation. But you have to be strong. You have to be prepared for big trouble, necessary trouble. Like Representative Lewis said, you have a lot of work to do, a lot of work. I commend you and I wish you all the very best.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And we are very proud to have you in the midst of us. I mean, somebody with this background, retired neurosurgeon. I mean, we are so grateful for your time, and we hope that we will tap into your great mind and knowledge as we move forward. Thank you so much. I've been to Diallo all the way from Burkina Faso.
Yes, hello. How are you?
That's my Oga.
I'm becoming now so emotional seeing Arthur, Abdul, Richelieu, Mohammed Kane, Francis. This is incredible.
Yes.
When we're talking about this, Samuel, we were like, okay, it's gonna take time to put all of us together, and today it's a reality. Since 2004, yeah, that's where the first time I joined WAYN. It's been a long journey.
Yeah.
What WAYN taught me is the sky is the limit. And Africa is bigger than anything we can think of. And that was my drive in anything I did until today. Sorry for my English, I'm from Francophone country, so I'm trying to do my best to make you guys understand what I'm saying. I feel now so lonely. I think Benin is connecting, so I won't be the only Francophone around.
I
know. I have a media company with my husband, which is one of my passions. An NGO called Africa Tomorrow that take care of young people, young girls, and policy dialogues with states. And I work as head of partnerships and development financing at the UN system in Burkina Faso. So today is a huge pleasure being here with Sami. And I think the one that I never left is Sami, Richelieu. We are in touch, and sometimes Job on Facebook. Hey, Daniel is here.
Hey, Mr. President is here.
Mr. President.
Mr. President.
I really do hope that this is a new step for WAYN. It's like we won't be anymore in implementation side. For me, this is the step to be influential at the policy level, to make sure that if we say something, ECOWAS would think twice, African Union would think twice before they take the decision. That's really where I think we'll be going with this new step of WAYN. Thank you so much for gathering, and I'm so honored to be around here.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I've been to, you see what I told you, she's my Oga. Thank you so much. I see, you know, all the way in, where are you now, Spain?
I'm in Holland.
In Holland. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm in Holland. Yeah. I think
Look at her.
Me too. Oh, sorry, I was late, a little bit late. My son had a swimming lesson, his final exams today. So I was there, and then I've just finished it. And yeah, I think I'm happy to be again, and I'm so glad to say I am part of you guys. And my name is Conte, but I've married now. I have 2 kids, and then now my name is Bale, my
Congratulations.
son. Yeah. And I live in Holland, and well, I've not been doing too much. I've not been too active on youth activities when I came back, because with studies and the kids and everything. But I want to say I'm happy to reconnect and to see how we can all join together, how we can also contribute to see how we can take forward the activities, the works of WAYN. I'm so sorry. I went to Sierra Leone in December, but I was so sorry I was not able to visit the secretariat. So sorry, Mohammed, and all of you guys. I'm so sorry for that. Yeah. So I'm happy to be around, and we'll stay in touch. I pray and hope we'll stay in touch.
Daar gaan we. Rechts afslaan naar weg der Verenigde Naties.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Great, great. Abdul Job, I see you there.
Yes, I'm right here. And actually, I'm just having fun here. And I'm seeing the crimson thread of love and passion binding everybody together. It's great to be with everybody. That's what is important. Arthur is right here. My roommates, of course, Dr. Jacob-Abbey. You know exactly what it is. I'm seeing Bintu. It's a pleasure meeting you once again. Long time. Oh, my president to be. Finally, I've been supporting Daniel. He doesn't know that, but I'm behind the scene, you know, pushing his agenda forward. And I'm going to do that because he's been a strong advocate. Oh, Francis is right here. Francis Aqua.
Yes.
Francis, how are you? And I'm seeing Charles. I'm seeing Charles. Everybody, look at you now. Hey, Mohammed Kane. I think I met with Mohammed Kane some time ago. I went to Sierra Leone. I couldn't remember, right? I think Mohammed. I think I remember. First of all, as you all know, I think when Dr. Sami Abe made mention of some sensitive information, I think it actually has to do with me. Oh, I can see Francis Abayomi. Abayomi Ogana. So because
how are you Abdul?
I'm good. I changed course a little bit from my legal background. It has to do with military experts in certain field. For security reasons, I might not be saying much. So right here, joined in the bandwagon of youth. Some of us are no more young youth anymore. Some are still. But I think I'm happy to join everybody so we can push the initiative forward. It's a great thing, and I'm excited to see a lot of people that have not been seen for a long time. Some people have been connecting with through social media, but the nature of my job, it's highly sensitive. I'm in the military right now, so it's a pleasure meeting everybody. And my brother Daniel, I'm right behind you. Let's go for it.
Thank you, brother.
All right, thank you so much. Because of the time, so we'll run fast. So we keep everybody in pace so that we don't lose anybody because of the time differences. So let's see here. So since Daniel, let's go to Daniel. Mr. Presidente, please, can you introduce yourself for us to know you?
Thank you, Doctor. And it's a pleasure for me to see these faces. And, you know, it is funny hearing Abdul Job talking about his roommates.
We don't want to know.
All that happened there, stay there.
We are good roommates. We are good.
Whatever happened in the room stays in the room.
And they were my neighbors.
I'm swearing, guys. I'm swearing.
Where is the other one?
I'm not seeing Mr. Allison.
Where is the other one, Francis?
Of them, Aqua or Abayumi.
Where is she? No, where is she?
Is it me you are asking or who? or Abayumi?
I think you are asking of Adiola.
Yeah, she is around. She's around. She's in Lagos.
If you prefer talking about Abayomi, it's fine.
Oh, great.
Bintou,
My
Bintou.
president knows better.
Bintou, comment ça va?
Bien, et toi?
Ça va très bien.
On va venir te faire président au Bénin bientôt.
Yeah, surely you guys are already invited next year. What can I say about myself? Since we had Sierra Leone, it was in 2005, right?
2004.
2004.
Yeah, we had, but in 2005, we had a program on NEPAD.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. So since then, I've moved to La Francophonie as an international civil servant. And my job was mainly about youth development, dealing with national youth policies. And I had the privilege to be the expert in charge of the formation of the National Youth Council of Burkina Faso. That was in 2008. Yeah, 2008 or 9. Yeah, 2008. Before that, we did Togo also, and Niger in 2006. So I continued my trip in the youth movement, but from the other. Since 2014, I'm back in Benin, where I engaged actively in politics. By the way, I forgot to name some other people. Don't feel offended because I still remember everybody. So I engage in politics. It's a case of steady case, because the time I engaged, it was not properly, how to say it in English, it was not the right time.
The right time, okay.
Yeah, so the experience I went through is something that I would like, when time comes, to share with those of you who like to join politics, because there is politics that we learn in newspapers, on TV, and there is the reality behind the scene.
Yeah,
and it's very hard, but it's a passion. I stood last time, and we were 33 candidates. To be honest with you, during the campaign time, I didn't campaign because my money was finished before the campaign time. Some people I was expecting to support me, they gave assurance, but networks entered in the game, and I was forced to withdraw, and I refused. I said, no, I'm not going to withdraw. I will go till the end. So I went till the end. But the best thing is I was not the last candidate.
Mm-hmm.
Frankly speaking, there were people, ministers, former ministers, and this, that I beat it, because I came 26 over 33. Although I didn't spend like them. And when I look at my record, I was voted in almost all regions in the country. It was not something that I got only in my village.
Mm.
So from then, I knew that something was going to happen. I supported the current president at the second round. He promised that we were going to work together. I said, okay, I'm available, Mr. President. After the election, it was difficult to reach out to him, and but I understood a few months later that I have something that they could see that I could not see.
Mm.
So some people, when they look at you, they say, okay, if we give support to this guy, he will get muscles, and if he gets muscles, we'll be in trouble. Yeah. And the problem for them, and the grace that I had, is that in Benin politics, it's not because I'm your brother. I'm the only one today who can proudly say I have no skeleton in my
cupboard.
And my cupboard. So that is not something that they like, because for you to play the game with them, you need to be dirty as well, so that they can hold you on something. But by the grace of God, I managed to remain the way I am. And it's a pleasure for me to let you know that I'm standing again next year.
Nice.
And although the obstacles that have been put, I will stand. I can't say much, but yeah, that's what I can say. And I will say thank you to all those who behind the scene or openly are giving support. Is Collins online?
Yes, Collins is there.
Hello, Adina.
You know, just to add to it, I'm his assistant campaign manager.
Hello, everybody.
So if you notice, I posted something on the messenger. So please, if you look at the messenger, there's something you have to do for Daniel. I'm his assistant campaign manager for NSO Affairs.
Oh.
So if you're part of this, so check the messenger. There's something we want you to do. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so I'm looking at the time, and I don't want us to. I want us to manage the time. So I know there are a lot that still need to introduce themselves. What we'll do is that we'll move on. I'll let Ambassador Charles Allen introduce himself, and then after we'll move on, and then we will bring in individuals one way or the other in the middle of the meeting to introduce themselves, so we don't waste all the time. So Ambassador Charles Allen, please.
Well, good afternoon, dear colleagues.
Yes.
It is always a pleasure interacting with you all. I think many of you, we first met in 2004 in our drive for peace and consolidation in our region. And today, many of us young people to be responsible adults contributing to global development. Today, from just listening to the introduction for Abdul and other colleagues, Daniel, you see, we have politicians, we have advocates, youth development specialists, we have academia. Our brother Sammy Jacobs has been so strong in consolidating peace through his advocacy and what. So all of us that met 2004, God has blessed us in a way that we are contributing to humanity. Those in the private sector continue to do those that are strong. They're strengthening those that need to be strong. I also want to use this opportunity to thank and appreciate Mr. Vishnu Allison and also Arthur R.M. Becker for keeping the touch. And this is what people overlook. I think we need not overlook this, but the effort by Sammy Jacobs and other colleagues in bringing us together at this platform, I can say it is laudable. I'm here in Germany representing my country. Before I came, transition from National Youth Council at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and I was privileged to be head of the protocol section under former President Ellen Johnson's lead. Today, we are now responsible adults. We can contribute more, not just at the bilateral front or at the multilateral front. We have some of our friends now at ECOWAS going there. Daniel wants to be president of NE. So WAYN was an eye-opener. WAYN gave us opportunity. WAYN empowered us as we're advocating for consolidation of peace in our region. We were also empowered by those we interacted with and the desire for peace. So I want to thank you all. This is a great opportunity. Let us keep the touch. No matter where we are one. And let us remember Africa needs us more than ever before. Thank you all.
Amen.
Oh, man. Thank you. Thank you
The
so
diplomat.
much. See, the man speaks diplomatically. And so the rest of us, we can use the chat room to introduce ourselves, but I assure you, we'll call each of you to introduce yourself whilst the meeting is progressing, so we don't keep everybody waiting. I see Uduak all the way from Nigeria.
Oh, Uduak is there?
Uduak is there.
Oh, wow.
Look at
Uduak, who wants to hear from Uduak?
We'll hear from her. I want to roll the meeting so that we don't lose. I know some of our members have to go to other meetings, so we want to make sure people are sending me messages behind the scenes so we can coordinate all of that. So let's start. First of all, I will want to, with all your indulgence, I know unfortunately we've lost some of our colleagues that we started work with so beautifully 19 years ago. They are no longer with us. They've been called for higher service. They left us on earth. And so I want us to take a minute of silence for all the departed souls of West Africa Youth Network members. So with all due respect, please, let's take 1 minute of silence for all of our friends. All righty. We pray that may their souls rest in perfect peace. May their good work that they did with West Africa Youth Network should not be in vain. And it is my prayer that our efforts today complement the work that they did. And so we thank God for all of their lives. At the appropriate time, we will mention the names of our colleagues who are no longer with us. And then we will keep them in our prayer as well. So without wasting much time, I want us to zoom straight into our meeting today. As you can see from the agenda, so at this point, we've covered the first part of exchange pleasantry and all that. So I want to now hand over to Arthur Berker to welcome and give us the purpose of our gathering.
Thank you so much, Sammy, for the organization you supported in organizing this meeting. I would also want to extend sincere thanks and appreciation to all of our colleagues in West Africa and other parts of the diaspora who have joined this reunion meeting this afternoon or evening, wherever you are in any, or morning, wherever you are in any part of the world. It has been so interesting to hear the voices of many of you who contributed significantly to the strides in moving the West African Youth Network forward a couple of years ago. Many of us have now transitioned to different professional areas of focus, but we hope that this reunion can be a rebirth of ensuring that we can still contribute to keeping up the dream alive of the West African Youth Network. Just before I dive into the purpose for why we've gathered here online, let me take this time to also introduce myself. My name is Arthur R.M. Becker. I am a Liberian, born in Liberia, raised in Liberia, and I've contributed to the growth and development of youth advocacy in Liberia, Africa, and the west of the world. I started the West African Youth Network together with Richelieu Allison in 2001, specifically when the Mano River Union region and other parts of West Africa were plagued with severe civil conflict and devastation. So we mustered the courage to ensure that we gather young people to have their energies and have their involvement and participation very vital to ensuring that we promote peace, human rights, the issue of democracy and governance, the issue of gender equality and others, and on the overall creating an open society that would promote sustainable development. Years after, currently I am an environmentalist. I work with the Environment Protection Agency of Liberia. I'm fully involved with climate change and environmental issues. At the moment, I serve as project officer for the multilateral environmental agreements at the Environmental Protection Agency of Liberia, in Liberia. I'm involved with a couple of interventions related to the environment. Climate change is one. The issues related to the nationally determined contributions is also one. Many of you who might have heard about the Paris Climate Agreement, that is also a part and parcel of the work I do at the Environmental Protection Agency of Liberia. By extension, I still yet hold on as National Program Officer of the West African Youth Network Liberia chapter. I'm hoping to finally give way in 2022. The reason is simple, because I was elected in 2018 in Nairobi, Kenya, as Liberia's permanent representative to the Economic, Social, and Cultural Council of the African Union. And my tenure runs between 2018 to 2022. And I wouldn't want to, again, move on to seeking another term. I would want to then turn over to another individual from the West African Youth Network Liberia chapter who would represent the interests of the West African Youth Network at the regional body there in Zambia, Lusaka. We've gathered at a critical time in the global history where we are plagued with humanitarian health catastrophe at the moment. COVID-19 has plagued all of us, and the countries around the world are also struggling with the effects of COVID-19. But however, this meeting comes at a moment also that we must be able to see through possible opportunities that do come up in terms of how we have mustered the courage over the years in terms of working to assiduously move forward the dreams and aspirations of the West African Youth Network. The network started all up in March of 2001. It has been 19 years over, with primary focus on the issues of peace building, the issues of human rights, youth leadership, gender equality, and many others. We must be able, during this reunion meeting, to practically focus on how can we be able to get young people more involved into ensuring that the issues related to terrorism and the issues related to conflict in the Sahel region can be able to come to a perpetual close. What kind of interventions can we be able to make as young people, or by extension, individuals that we are mentoring to ensure that they contribute significantly to the conflict and terrorism matters in the Sahel region? Other issues that focus are women empowerment, the issues of girls empowerment, the issues of rape, sexual gender-based violence are critical issues on the African continent, on the West African sub-region. The issues of elections, how can we muster and promote peaceful elections across West Africa, especially increasing youth participation in electioneering processes, and also the participation of women in terms of becoming a part and parcel of national leadership. We must also begin to think actively about inculcating environmental and climate change related issues into what we do across the sub-region. Moreover, we should be able to look at humanitarian interventions as we are all plagued with COVID-19. Who knows? We do not pray for such, but probably there are other humanitarian conflicts or crises that may be popping up. We must be able as an institution to pragmatically put into place plans that will be able to avert or subsequently complement the efforts of those who are destitute and those who are disadvantaged and facing these humanitarian conflicts and catastrophes. Moreover, this meeting is going to focus on strengthening our network as we've begun. And this meeting is not going to be the last of its kind, but will on a quarterly basis gather like this online. And when things better improve, we can be able to plan and organize a face-to-face meeting, probably in Liberia or Sierra Leone. that gave birth to the West African Youth Network. Moreover, this meeting comes at a time where we must begin now to think about establishing an active database. This database will create a link between all of us and more of those now taking over from us across the length and breadth of West Africa, especially as it relates to interventions being done by the West African Youth Network. Moreover, we must be able to think about quarterly online training so that to build the capacity of young people across West Africa and other parts of the world in the diaspora, so as to understand critical thematic areas of focus such as human rights, peace building, gender equality, and moreover, other issues that are of pertinent concern across the region. However, we are also thinking how best can we be able to arrange speaking tours across other parts of the world, such as Europe and the US, so as to sell out the message of the West African Youth Network, and also be able to establish fundraisers for the West African Youth Network to be able to contribute to issues such as educational welfare for kids across West Africa, such as other interventions that we could think about. How can we be able to contribute significantly to many of these interventions? And moreover, this meeting will also focus primarily on how can we plan leading towards a 2021 face-to-face meeting in Freetown or Liberia, respectively. And lastly, this meeting excitingly is going to honor Richelieu Allison and 3 other individuals that have significantly worked in ensuring that this dream came to fruition, and also to ensure that where we are today, many of us, it is because of our collectiveness and networking, and because of many of the kind of innovations that we got from the West African Youth Network. Where we are today, we are making significant strides wherever we are across the world. At this juncture, I wouldn't want to bore each and every one of us with many or more things to say, but these are major and cardinal issues that we are going to look at during our online reunion meeting today. And let me use this time again to welcome each and every one of you. I'm glad to have all of you here this afternoon, this morning, or this evening, anywhere where you are in the world, to this reunion meeting of ours. So again, thank you for joining, and we look forward to a rich and rewarding interaction during the course of this reunion meeting. Thank you ever so much.
Thank you. Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Atta. That's a very, very, very powerful address statement. I don't know, do we have Richelieu around now? Atta, were you able to get Richelieu? Do we have Richelieu? Okay, so it looks like we don't have...
I think he's not online yet.
Okay, great. So then probably we'll skip the portion where he speaks, and when he comes in, we will be able to accommodate him to speak on that subject matter at this point. So now let's go straight to our WAYN initiatives, as Atoberka had mentioned. So the first area of concern that we wanted to address is the issue of the WAYN Diaspora Fund to support global initiatives. Now, this idea was one idea that was actually mooted by Abdul Job because he felt it's a very important step in the development of our lives, especially when God has graced us to be resourceful. We should be able to support those who needs help. And so majority of us are also in the diaspora. And so how do we put our efforts together so we can support the initiatives on the ground? So Abdul Job, if you are there, I'll pass this on to you, and then you'll probably give a minute or two, and then we will bring everybody into the discussion to see how that is feasible. Abdul Job.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sammy. The reason why I brought up that initiative is as a result of an incident that happened some time ago with Richelieu Allison. It is important for us to note that some of us are in the diaspora and we're doing well in our various capacities. So I ask myself, how are we going to contribute our quota into the developmental strides of WAYN, as well as people who we worked with who are still in Africa? There was an incident that happened wherein Richelieu Allison was involved in an accident, and he has to reach out to me via social media, which is Facebook. Taking into consideration my background in security and everything, I refuse to yield to that message, because nowadays we all know it is a trend that people use social media to extort money from people around the world in the name of whatever fake thing that they're doing. So I did not actually respond, but later on I got to find out that it was actually true. And I asked myself, how do we sit here in the diaspora and allow one of us went through that suffering without even contribute our quota in helping him develop in the way possible? So that's the reason why I came up with this proposal to say, let's have a diaspora, whatever we called it, to look into some of these things and help people, our very own people who we worked with, as well as the WAYN as an institution, to see how we can push forward anything that happened to WAYN, or as well as it has to be with capacity building of WAYN. It has to be with help with people that we worked with. So this is the initiative. This is an idea that I spilled in our last meeting, and I hope that we can look into this idea. For instance, again, I see my president to be His Excellency Daniel Ida, trying to get into the race in next year. It's also a way that some of us who on the diaspora can come up and say, you know what, let's support this initiative in any way we can, and we can see how we can generate some funds in order for us to support our brother. So it's not actually going to be Richelieu or Daniel. It might be any one of us tomorrow. And also, that's the reason why I put that proposal. I said, let's look at ways and means by which we can come up together and see how we can help one another. For instance, if let's say if Richelieu is doing something about IT, and I want to do anything about IT, and Richelieu is an expert, I can contact Richelieu and boost him up. It's just like building our individual capacity so that we can all achieve our set objectives. So that is the general idea.
Wow, thank you very much, Abdul, for so folks. So we'll probably spend maybe a minute or two on this topic because we have a lot of stuff to handle. Whenever you are breaking the ground, it's always difficult because you have a lot of agenda. There is excitement and all that. But rightly so, as Abdul Job had suggested, it comes in a time when we need to support each other, and it gives us hope when you know that you have a team around the world who are willing to support your initiative. Not necessarily only with money, but emotionally, psychologically, financially as well. And the human resource and the human capital. And so I felt it's a very important initiative, a step that we want to take. So let me open up maybe 2 or 3 more comments around that, and then we can go into the other areas of the agenda. Anybody want to voluntarily just step in and speak? All right, so it looks like everybody is muted, so you have to unmute yourself to speak.
Yeah.
Good.
Sammy, that's wonderful. You know, I proposed that to you without knowing that Abdul Job did. So I'm fully in. That's to say, because I had the same reaction with what happened to Richelieu. And I think that was unacceptable that one of us leaves something like that. We can't have information, accurate information, but only have what we have on the internet. So I fully support the idea. As I said, I proposed that without knowing Abdul did, so I'm on board. Thank you. Even though I'm not really diaspora.
Thank you. Well, I think the diaspora component is just to initiate and raise funds from all over the world. So, and I think that we can actually also embed the conversation between the diaspora fund and the welfare policy, because that in itself will also integrate the conversation. So we'll be able to support each other out of that policy as well. So yes, anyone want to go ahead as well?
I think I can add something. I want to say something. If I can just briefly, I think maybe to help us in terms of navigating this fund, if we might have a concrete proposal in terms of how we want it to run, so that we don't just have all kind of discussion that might take us quite a long time. So in essence, do we have a concrete proposal? If not, can we form a team that will look at it and give us concrete proposal in terms of how we can proceed in it? I think that's one way of doing it, so that we don't have too many discussion on this matter, you know. So if we accept, maybe what I say that if we accept this is what we want to do, then the next thing we need to do is that we start with a team to work out the modality. Then at the next quarterly meeting, we study those modality and then we'll move ahead. That's what I'm proposing.
Thank you very much. Well noted. You know, you can go ahead and then Francis Aqua on that subject, and then we'll close that chapter.
Yeah, Sammy, I think I supported the motion that we can have a committee to look at the funding business, because I wanted to say it cannot only be diaspora, it can also be like a funding we can have as a group, that anything that happens, I don't know how, even the secretariat, before when we were in Freetown, Allison and pays for the office space or everything. We can support in any ways. Let us don't look at, we say diaspora fund, let's say maybe general fund, that maybe if something happened with anybody, death come or sickness or accident or anything. But it's also good that we can have a committee that can look at the situation and later come back to report what is their result, what we can do later. I think it's also nice.
Thank you very much. Francis Aqua.
Yes, I think I wouldn't, some of the issues I wanted to raise have already been responded to by Dr. Collins and so that's fine.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Right. Go ahead.
Sammy, can I come in, please?
Yes, please, go ahead.
Can I just come in with that? Yeah, I am Cyrilia. I've been part of WAYN for the past couple of years. Just regarding the issue about the fund, that is really a laudable venture. And then, like just said, with regarding the fund, one thing that has been like a burden with WAYN is about resource mobilization and funding.
Very good.
Like you're saying every time it has to be just Rich Liu that is sourcing funds for WAYN's office in Freetown, and often the time it becomes a burden. So with the thing of resources and getting, and it has to be the people that are working in Sierra Leone that have benefited from WAYN that can also put their resources, other countries, other parts of Africa as well. So it's not about let's have like a committee and see what we want, have a strategic plan on how we intend to do the resource mobilization or fund, and come together on how we can do like what the Save the Children and others do. We pay our contribution will help. So because as it is now, WAYN has got an office in Sierra Leone, and who pays the rent for WAYN? How do they manage their activities? They only depend on funds from whoever is happy to fund them at the moment. So let's look into all of that. And the same thing, I guess, is the same thing for Liberia as well. So let's just go back to that and then we tweak and see how we work that out. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It sounds brilliant ideas. So what I have done is that I've taken notes. By the way, I didn't introduce Mabel to you. Mabel is there. Mabel works with me, and she's helping me with the notes as well as myself as well. So we're getting the notes, and what I'm doing is that I will probably suggest on the platform anyone with a background, because she's more technical when we are developing policy and fundraising strategies, so that those who are interested, we can probably set up a 3-member committee that will come out with a well-documented proposal, and that we can circulate it for us others to put add their input, and then we'll be able to move forward. So thank you so much for those. So meaning that the WAYN Diaspora Fund Support Initiative, the Alumnus Welfare Policy, and the sponsorship will all fall into those 3 categories of finance, so that we don't discuss all over again. We put all those 3 into the hands of a committee to come out with a comprehensive proposal, and that we can work within that framework. So thank you so much for those suggestions on that. So let's move to the next agenda then, which is consultancy and advising governments. Now, it's interesting to realize that majority of us are already in the position of advising governments and international organizations.
Exactly.
We see Francis, making great impact in Abuja. We see Bintu handling the Sahel region. We see Collins, handling universities and consulting as an adjunct professor. We see Charles Allen advising governments in the diplomatic circle. The list go on and on. Daniel Eda, Udua, Atta, Adiola, and we are also very fortunate in the midst of us, Dr. Silvanos Ayeni, who is a retired neurosurgeon. So we have great minds that have come together, and I believe that if we will take this knowledge and our expertise and become more of a consultant to our governments, because the whole idea is to change perceptions and to change the way governments in Africa, particularly in West Africa, operates. And so if that being the case, we need to take our efforts to them. And how do we do that? Especially when we have strategic people in places. So I want us to discuss and see how can we get government attention by our efforts. 19 years of youth activism and building capacity, it's no joke. If by the grace of God we rally behind Daniel Eda to become the president of Benin, we know we have a platform already. The work that Abdul Job is doing, we know we have a platform. With the work that Atta is doing on environmental and climate change, we know we have a platform. So how do we take that platform to our governments so that governments will recognize the skills we have? We have Juliana, who is the executive director for Girls Excellence Movement on us. She actually works at the Office of the President of Ghana. She's the Deputy Director of Finance, the Office of the President of Ghana. So we have contact in these areas. How do we move our strength into consulting and helping governments to establish policies that will help develop our region? Over to us. Let's discuss.
Dr. Sami, I think there's one thing I want to say in that regard, based on the question, and I have to be just brief and short. Okay. How we can do that is to participate in politics. Let's play our part, because mostly in order for you to have a voice, you have to be a team player. You have to join the political platform, because sometimes there are other ways, but I think the major way, the paramount way, in order for your voice to be heard, and in order for you to have a clean platform to consult, to have a consultation with the government, is when you partake in politics and hold position that you are close to the present government or the government of the day. I think that's my own advice, is participate in youth participation in politics.
Thank you very much. Let's go to Daniel. I see your hand up, Daniel.
Yeah, thank you, Doctor. What I would like to suggest is that we try to consolidate what we have as expertise in the network. And in the coming days, I will release my manifesto, and some of you who are in specific areas of intervention might look at it and already start preparing themselves in terms of what they can contribute in to help in implementing the manifesto, because as long as we are able to complement a political agenda, definitely we will get our room in. And I can assure you that if we are well organized, I am intending to rely on the network to change Benin in the vision of the economically prosperous and socially stable Benin that I'm carrying. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Arthur Becker.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Sammy, again, and to colleagues who have contributed to the conversation thus far. I would tend to agree with Daniel. We need to first try to see what areas of focus or specialties all of us on this platform have. There are some expertise that could be similar and they could be merged. Then along those lines, we can set up teams along those lines to work on different thematic areas of interventions. That is one. Two, we need to begin to see where we can have WAYN a part and parcel of these regional institutions. Let me give you a case in point. To be able to advise national governments, you must be able to be a part of institutions like the Economic Commission for West Africa, ECOWAS. WAYN needs to find ways through which we can get a DEX focal point there. We also need to get a focal point at the Mano River Union Secretariat. We also need to find ways through which we can have a DEX or a representation. For now, there is a very strong representation. I represent the interests of the West African Youth Network at the Economic, Social, and Cultural Council of the African Union. So we need to strengthen our base within those regional establishments. So on the basis of having those focal points established there that become automatically eye of the West African Youth Network, we can then channel those policy briefs, those recommendations that we have to those regional groupings, that being the Mano River Union, that being the ECOWAS, and that being the African Union. That is where I want to stop.
Thanks, I appreciate that. Well noted. Francis Aqua Akins.
Yes, what I would like to add is that I think this is a very good idea. And I know Abdul mentioned that you need to get inside government and all that. Yeah, that's also very good. Now, my proposal will be that I know at the level of the African Union, they have, as far as peace and security is concerned, so they have Youth for Peace Dialogue. And this is a collaboration with ECOWAS, and GIZ is to some extent supporting that process. So from my side, as I'm getting to the other side, I think at my own level, I can push for at least WAYN to be invited to some of these activities or forums. So I think at the right time, I'll need to get the contact of who can participate in such meetings if GIZ, AU, and ECOWAS agree based on the advocacy that we make. So that at least we gradually can get inside ECOWAS, and in the medium to long term, maybe also with all of us as support, head towards having a focal point there or a DEX to then get in there and support such process. So we can begin maybe from that level. This is just a thematic area that we are working on. I believe that we could start from there. And of course, beyond that, also get WAYN to participate in other activities from other departments that are on youth based on their thematic. So I could at my level try to advocate for that. And fortunately, Dr. Collins is there. He's been involved a lot with some activity ECOWAS. So I think he could, together, we could push that forward at our level.
Sounds good. Thank you very much. Adiola, all the way from the UK. Hey, Adiola, you are muted.
Can I say something then? As Adiola is not coming in.
Yes, Adiola, you are muted. You are still muted.
Unmute.
Okay, great. Now you're on mute.
All right, good. All right, everyone, thank you for this reunion. It's 19 years, but this will be my own, I think, 18 years, because I joined WAYN a year after. Based on the topic of discussion, I want to get some context, and I want us to reflect on that. Obviously, we're not going to do what we did 19, 18 years ago. It's a reunion. And you know very well that as active as we were at that time, there were focal points across the country. I think you were doubling as the liaison officer to ECOWAS as well, Summit. So I don't know, it's a pity Alison is not here to know what is the current structure of WAYN, so as to know what we're proposing now. Will all of these fit on the platform of WAYN? I believe in the reunion is to look at some of the capacity you've mentioned to see if it's possible. There's some things that could be offshoots of WAYN alumni group or something like that. I'm just thinking of how will some of these things fit on the platform of WAYN? Two, are we helping the existing structure of WAYN to carry some of these things, or we're going to drive it? That's the second part to that. I believe, like I made the last contribution of Daniel Eder, and I think it's part of the things we've discussed in 2002 to see this generation taking over those platforms, like Abdul Joe said. Some of us are active at that level, and I want to encourage that that could be the next phase of some of these things. Obviously, some people will be active in the political terrain, like Daniel Eder and some of us are interested in, and some professionals, and I believe there could be a merger of those ideas across what we have within the network. But my question is, we're not going to repeat what we did 19 years ago. Can the existing structure of WAYN accommodate that? I was just checking the website. I discovered the same website we were using 17, 18 years ago that's still there. So if Alison were to be here, it would have been good. Do we still have a focal point? I knew 5 years ago I was in Sierra Leone for a project. I went to the secretariat to meet some people there, interacted with them. Do they still have that regional structure? How does it relate with other countries? So as to know what is the available capacity. How do we come in? Take, for example, if something were to happen and WAYN wants to do something with Jacobs-Abbey Institute, that could be something. If there's something to be done in terms of those kind of partnership, I was just looking at it. And for people who may not have met me, it's Adeola Ojeni, national focal point, WAYN Nigeria, and then at some point regional program coordinator. So currently in the UK, I have Executive Director, African Center for Development and Research. And, there will be opportunity to exchange some of these things. Let's just I think it would be good if at Rebecca or somebody with existing knowledge of WAYN now could chip in and clarify that so that we know. Because I'm more like, should we not be past the touch and we'll be the linchpin into the, political world, the economic world, and the institutes that will help WAYN to expand its capacity. I just want to be, I don't want to be supporting Daniel Eder as the president and then be worried about what is WAYN doing day to day. All right, have a laugh.
All right. All right. Thank you. Francis, your hand came up again.
Okay, that's not my hand again. Maybe
Okay.
I should remove that one.
Yes, I think based on what just Adiola just mentioned, because I think our group is more of an alumnus group. So that means that the active WAYN should be there, the structure should be there, right?
That's right.
So whatever we are discussing here, doing here, is to probably to support the WAYN as it is now, or how to revamp it with the support of those currently working. Like Sierra Leone, Fatmata mentioned that. So there's still an office in Sierra Leone and all that. So what is the regional structure now? Because for instance, if at the ECOWAS level, Collins and I are able to get some activity where WAYN can participate, I think should be the regional level. So who do we contact to participate in that? Because we cannot represent WAYN there.
That's right.
So who?
And it's no longer listen.
Yeah, exactly. So who goes for such regional meeting when ECOWAS or AU allows space for that to happen? So we need to have this information. That will help us.
I think it's well noted, and we'll once we finish, I'll put up the reports, comprehensive report from this meeting, and I'm sure it will address all that. But Mabel, you wanted to say something.
Yes.
I want to give you that slot on.
Thank you very much, Abiola. That comment was very inclusive, because I'm trying not to be intimidated, but rather inspired, because everyone here is such a big deal. I'm so honored to be in the midst. But then to add to that, Sammy, please, when we are gathering, we also have to look at a criteria for recruitment for young people, but we should have a criteria so that what Mr. I think Francis was saying, in case of the Youth for Peace Dialogue and all those programs, we have a criteria of very sharp young people who can make a good impression on wherever we go to also open doors for the young people. And we are pushing the agenda of WAYN everywhere we go to. So that is not only based on the strength of the alumnus, but the young people too are doing well, so that we can make you proud. So I think we should look out for a criteria for recruitment. That's all I wanted to add.
Thank you very much. One of the things you will know about West Africa Youth Network is that you come in raw, with no experience, with nothing, and by the time you come out, you will realize that capacity has been built, because a lot of us started with the same, and then ended up nothing. Yes. Sharon, you wanted to say something. You can go ahead. Sharon,
hello?
You are muted. Sharon.
Hello?
Yeah, okay, great. Go ahead.
All right,
Hi,
good afternoon, everyone.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. I just wanted to say it's a really great honor to be here with such great minds and great people. It's my first time being on here with you guys, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity to be here. I wanted to make a contribution with regards to how we can also create impact within the governments of our day. I wanted to say that one of the ways would be through influence. If we have strong backing for the various individuals within WAYN who have even maybe social change advocacy movements, or they have something that they're doing in relation to social change within their countries, then we could put our weight behind them and help them push their agenda forward. Because once you have the masses at your beck and call, the government would have to listen to you at some point, especially when it's getting close to election year and everybody wants everybody else on their train so they can win an election. So for example, if we have women in empowerment, for example, that's just an example, and they have a voice out there going out to the schools, going out to the tertiary institutions, going out there and empowering women across whatever country they are in, then the government knows that these people actually contribute something to the economy. Maybe they're empowering women entrepreneurs, they're empowering maybe young women coming up in education, maybe in professional pursuits. Once that is there, once that key of influence is there, then you already have an aspect of the government's ear, because they know that if they do not give you attention, you could use your movement of people to either block policies or enhance policy assimilation in the economy. So that's where I am coming from on that scale. Thank you.
Got you. Thank you. Well noted. And all this will be included in the outcome report, and then we'll be able to pick it up and then run it across. But I think it's a very valid point, because you need to have something substantive in order to get attention of policymakers and government. Arthur, you raise your hand to wrap it up.
Yes, Samuel, thank you. I just got a call from Richelieu. He wants to inform each and everyone that unfortunately he cannot attend this meeting because he's somewhere in the remote part of northern Liberia. So he's faced with some difficulty in trying to connect, but he expresses his best wishes to each and every one of us. But he will subsequently follow up on all of the outcomes coming out of this meeting. But I also want to quickly note here that we have Mohammed Kane from Sierra Leone, who is also online. He is currently the regional director of the West African Youth Network. So probably he could just under 5 minutes or so, or less than that, give us some brief update onto the status of the West African Youth Network. That's Mohammed, right. If you are there.
Mm-hmm. Mohammed, are you alive?
Mohammed is the man.
Yeah. Okay, so it looks like we don't have Mohammed now. So what we'll do is that whenever he gets set, we will allow him to speak. So we keep the time going. All right, great. So so all noted, and I think we are steadily moving forward. So the next thing that I want us to look at is the strengthening and network building. You know, everything that we do borders on strength and effective networks. Because if I know that if I can travel into the Sahel region and I know Bintu is there, I am excited and I'm happy because I know even if I get stranded, there's somebody who will support me. If I don't even have money for hotel, I know somebody who can host me in their home. The same way, if you come to the US and you needed support, we are here to support you. So I strongly believe that
I'm here.
Abdul Job is there. He will send you to the barracks. So I think that the strengthening of our networks is important because, like Bintu said in the beginning, it's so sad that this group, I mean, I recall this group so well, how energetic we were, how super energetic we were in every aspect, from networking to eating to caravan to...
Well, you need to define your network again now.
Exactly. You have to define it well.
You know, we
have a
laugh. So involved. But along the line, I don't know where the communication gap came in, and suddenly everybody went their own way. Of course, I understand people became more additional responsibilities, and so they get off the agenda. But I think today is historic because we have come together, and I strongly think that we should strengthen our network. And by so doing, one of the things that I'm proposing is that now, back in the years, we were all depending on Facebook to connect. Now there is WhatsApp, which makes communication much easier for people. So maybe it's about time we need to look at establishing the West African Youth Network Alumni WhatsApp platform that will be strictly to communicate things of this nature and not spamming it with a lot of junk and unrelated morning devotions, and which are all important, but we should allow the spacing to be used for the purpose for which it was created. So in a situation like we had with Richelieu, where he was involved in an accident, if a message comes to that platform, we know it is authentic because not everybody comes on that platform, except that you've been invited to that platform. And so it is one area of strengthening that I'm looking at, and I wanted to propose, if that is okay with us, I mean, we can, as soon as this meeting is over, you can send your WhatsApp phone number either to me privately and I'll add it, or I will create and I'll throw the link on the platform, and then everybody can just sign on so that we can have that just as relationship building purposes. What do you guys think? And any other area of ideas by which we can strengthen our relationship? But before anybody speak, I think those who haven't spoken, I want them to talk first. So let's start with Uduak. Uduak, you haven't spoken, so you want to talk? I'm going to hear from you.
I want to hear from you, Uduak, exactly.
Let's go.
Is Uduak you there? You're muted. Okay, we are hearing you now. You can speak louder a bit.
Uduak is muted. She has to unmute it.
Okay.
Uduak, can you unmute?
Yeah.
I think somebody should check because sometimes it says the host muted you or something.
Yes,
she's in a physical meeting at the moment.
Got you. I got you. Okay, great. I understand that. All right. So then, please, anybody can talk about how we can strengthen this network. Gloria.
Yeah. Hello, Sam.
Yes, Sammy.
Yes, go ahead.
Sammy?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Quinton Tunis on the line here.
Hey, Tunis, go ahead.
Okay, it's nice being here. We didn't have time to introduce ourselves because of the timing. But I'm Quinton Tunis. As Ato stated, we have been with WAYN for the past couple of years, since 2001, 2002. And did a lot in youth development and youth empowerment. But the initiative by Semi and Ato and the rest of the folks is laudable. I would just like to take this time to thank you all and assure you that we should all be together to ensure that we rekindle the spirit that we had in WAYN over the years, and we can plan projects together. We can achieve a lot. And the networking is very important. Some of us have been traveling a lot, and if we have a network that we can possibly be able to see our WAYN colleagues when you visit their respective locales, that would be very, very beautiful. I was with, a few years back, I was in Netherlands, just through networking, we're able to communicate. So it is important that we keep this spirit alive. And as Samuel also suggested, or whosoever suggested, the establishment of a WhatsApp group will be very, very important because it's more secured, so that we can move forward and be able to share our thoughts and see how we can move things to the next level. I would like to I wish our brother from Benin all the best in the electioneering process. In whatever way we can support him, I think we should be encouraged to do that. There are several others who are doing different type of initiatives. We should be able to support one another moving forward. So thank you very much. Nice talking to you all again.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Great.
Thank you.
All right. So yeah, Gloria, I don't know if you were going to say something. If you want, you can. Otherwise, we can go forward.
Yes, Sammy.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much. I forgot to introduce myself the last time. Yes. I am Cyrilia Wilson. I've been part of WAYN since 2004 till now. WAYN has challenged me to be the person I am today, and by the grace of God, I've through the support of WAYN, I have done a foundation, and it's called Rural Women for Sustainable Development, which I found. And I'm also working with the government of Sierra Leone as the head of human resources and administration. So for me, it's really, really a laudable venture as well. And the strengthening of our network is also good. While it is good that we update you with our phone numbers to do the WhatsApp group, I think we can also go forward and doing it for West African youth alumni. The yellow page takes into account your name, where you stay in, where you working, what is your profession, and the like. So maybe number changes. We do lose our phone from time to time. If I go to Berlin, for example, I went to Berlin a couple of years ago, and I met Charles Allen. Knew Charles Allen was somewhere around close where I should have. Oh, I'm close to your area. So things like that. You know where Charles Allen is working, and maybe when you're in Berlin, you're popping at the embassy and stuff like that. And maybe if Bintu is coming to Sierra Leone, maybe she wants tips on what's happening with this government or that government. She knows where to go to, or who is part of the alumni that is in the yellow pages. So maybe establishing a yellow page for the alumnus, maybe that will also help.
Thank you.
Dr. Abbey.
Yes,
Dr. Abbey,
sir.
a quick thing. Cecilia, I don't think you're very much good in networking, because I went to Sierra Leone. You live very close to WAYN Church in Kutan Road. I tried to contact you, and you did not respond to me. So you're not good in networking. That was fun.
that was before, and she's also trying to understand the purpose of the network. I think that what she said was very important, and that is why you see on the agenda we have the WAYN database. Now we are going to create a database, so we'll be able to have confidential information. Not when I say confidential, it's a public information, but we'll keep it confidential at our end, so we'll be able to use it for the purpose of which we are gathering. And so we will look into that. It was part of the membership database and all that. So I think in all, we should be able to put all of them together, and then we'll send it out for others to join, and then we can build a very solid platform. Now, I'm looking at the time, and we should be wrapping up very soon. But two things I wanted to look at before we wrap it up. The first one is now Daniel Eda had mentioned to us that he's possibly going to release his manifesto in a few weeks ahead of us. As a team, this is one of the things. This is one of the strengths we have as a group. There are those who are very bilingual. People like Francis Akwa, Bintu and Co are bilingual. So if you can step in and help Daniel translate some of them into English, you are welcome to do so. That is the purpose of our relationship. And then I would also ask that if Daniel asks us for specific things, let us support him specifically based on the things that he needs in every form of our strength. Because I guarantee you, Daniel has been a good brother ever since we know him. He has never left the network, and he has led the network many times, and he has been involved in council. So this is the time that I know when he becomes a president of Benin, I can confidently stand somewhere and boast and say that, guess what? The president of Benin is my friend. And I think all of us will be glad to do that. So I want to encourage every one of us. And again, when a policy manifesto is released, it needs to be reshaped. So anyone with a background, like me, I'm a public policy advisor. So once I look at his health program, I can advise him as to what is relevant and what is not relevant. The same way Francis is a peace building consultant, you'll be able to look at it and start looking at the region. These are some of the things that you need to incorporate in your manifesto, especially since Francis understands and speaks French very well. He understands the impact it will have on the people on the ground. And so I really want to encourage everyone. And then Danielle, again, we are fortunate because Dr. Sylvanos, who's a professor emeritus, is a neurosurgeon. He can advise when it comes to health issues completely, because if he's retired, it means he's practiced medicine for God knows how many years. And so we can fall on all these resources and then we can support that. So that is the one area that I want to encourage every one of us to be involved to help. The other thing that I want us to talk about quickly, we understand we are in difficult times, and so unfortunately we are unable to have an in-person meeting until all this COVID thing have come down. But I think we should have some idea and propose some dates on the platform, so we'll be able to share and plan strategically towards the inauguration of the election of Daniel Eda, so that all of us will go to Benin in 2021 to celebrate the victory and
yeah.
you know, and so let's plan towards that as well. And then finally, like I said, Richelieu and others initiated this movement, and by the grace of God, all of us are in the process today. So 19 years on, I think it will be good for the West Africa Youth Network Alumni Group to institute a scholarship award in their name. So, for instance, the scholarship that Abdul Job is talking about, personally, I am proposing, and we can discuss it further. It doesn't have to be just my proposal, that those 4 individuals will be named after the various segments of proposals that we will put in place as a way of honoring the work that they initiated. But that is up to us to discuss and see if it's something meaningful and feasible. So over to all of you. Let's discuss that, and then we'll wrap up our meeting.
All right, quick one so that we don't waste time.
Yes.
Just like we proposed with the funding initiative, can we have like 2 subgroupings? Will that fall under scholarship and maybe education? And we have the other one, that welfare and fundraising or resource mobilization. And we can then come with, so I would just say maybe we should just identify people that may serve in one group or the other. And the one you mentioned, Daniel, leader on aspect of policy, that could be a subgroup that helps him with that. I hope COVID permits. Some of us would like to be on ground to help him to campaign as well. So if we can just identify people that will be interested in working on the scholarship model, what would be the criteria, what kind of school scholarship are we? Is it the lump sum money? Is it just $1,000, for example? Or is it a particular amount? Is it through the school? You know, all of that, the committee can work that out. So also as, so I can volunteer myself to work on the funding aspect of the committee we mentioned earlier. Anybody that wants to work on other committee should volunteer, and we can move forward with that.
Thank you very much. Yeah, Daniel, your hand was up.
Yeah, thank you, Doctor. The initiative to honor Richelieu and the others, I think it would be good if it's something that will provide funding to youth organizations that will be doing some project. So we'll find a name, even if it's $500 or $1,000 per organization per project. So based on the nature of the project, if the project complements our aim of peace in the region, or to fight, to prevent terrorism, or to eradicate poverty, then it can carry their name. I don't know if we're going to put their 3 names together or if it could be, but let's make it something that can strengthen youth organizations in their work, because we stood for that, and it's important for us to have after us other youth organizations that will continue the. There are no more young people, and we need to groom others. So the initiative in honor of Alison and others can contribute to strengthening the youth organizations in the region. Besides that, I would like to, besides you coming to campaign with me, I would like to invite you, if you agree, that we set up a plan for us as alumni of WAYN to meet in Benin in August next year. It will be a great honor for me to host you as president, but as somebody who has been through this group with you.
That's right.
That would be interesting.
Amen. Amen.
Dr. Sammy.
Yes, yes, sir.
First of all, in our last meeting, I made a proposal about the scholarship and support for young people around in West Africa. And I also suggested that we have like a reunion wherein we meet. And my suggestion was in Sierra Leone because we know Sierra Leone now better and we know how to go to the beach and coming back.
You think you can still find your way?
Exactly. Adiola, you know exactly what it is. You are So I think going to Benin will be something great, and that will also boost the morale of Daniel. And the budget, the sponsorship I mentioned about in our last meeting, I think we should, sometimes we have to play politics in our own way. That's the reason why I mentioned we can play politics, we can involve in politics also. That doesn't mean let's say we all involve in politics one way or the other. You cannot hide or deviate from that. So what we can do is that's what I'm thinking right now. Now that Daniel is pushing to run for the highest office in Benin, and we as WAYN are thinking as to get a scholarship for young people. We can tap that and get a scholarship for young people in Benin, using Daniel as our own focal point, wherein Daniel can use that as a case study to showcase a strength in order to, Africa, we have
That's strategic thinking now.
You understand? So we can use that. For example, let's say we want to sponsor 100 young kids for 1 year. We're going to take care of everything. I said it. I don't want to say much about that, but I think it's something that we can be able to do. And let's say we're sponsoring 100. We can talk to Daniel. Daniel identify 100 people, just get them together, and we've provided necessary funds and support and whatever. We can use WAYN, and Daniel can use that as his influence to get the scholarship into Benin and get the scholarship into supporting people who are less privileged. He can use that as his campaign trend. And African, we know exactly what it is in Africa. If one, oh God, it's been recorded. That's fine.
I tell you, leave it like that. Just leave it like that.
Stop it.
Leave the details.
But I think it's a very strategic approach, and I'm sure as we continue to think through, as we continue to develop, as we continue to talk, we'll be able to come out with a lot of strategic way to support each other. Last time Daniel ran, we were so bent to go on the ground, but unfortunately, the energy wasn't there that much. And I think that, again, it's because a lot of people were disengaged. But as we put our efforts together, we'll be able to support him. And of course, any other individual who has any project that needs our assistance, I think it's a rallying point to support everyone. Like, having said that, on the 22nd of August, I am launching my book. If you have time, come and support me on Zoom, and let's have fun. So that's the way it works. We have a solid support and a solid network, and then that is how brotherhood is and sisterhood is developed. And so I think based on that, I will have said that I have exhausted the agenda, and I want to go to any other business, anything anybody else want to chip in, and I will make sure the report of this meeting will be available within 1 week, very detailed, inclusive of everything that we have talked about, and then we can pick it up from there.
Thank you.
All righty. All right. Any suggestions?
Thank you very much, Sammy. Since I'm thinking that we're coming to Sierra Leone, since he has proposed, I'm doing a women village in Cambia, close to Guinea.
Is this in Guinea?
Yes, please. So when 2000, I'm keeping the launching of the village for women. It's a village that I did for the rural poor and youth. And it looks at Dress Me Sustainable, Eat What You Grow. And at the moment, I got 100 sewing machines that they're using to do the sub-project that is Dress Me Sustainable. And I've not launched it. So I'm keeping it. They're doing their bits and bobs. But in 2022, you're coming and I'm having WAYN to officially open it to the whole world or to the public. So I'm keeping it for you guys. See you in 2022. So next year we're going to Benin.
Doctor, did you hear that? She said she's keeping it for WAYN, for us.
I heard that. I heard that.
Your emphasis
so before we go, I just realized that Mohammed Kenny has now joined the platform. So if you don't mind, please let's give him just 2 minutes of our time so that he will take us home. Mohammed, if you are available, can you give us a quick rundown as a regional director for West Africa Youth Network? No, Mama, you are muted. Okay, good.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you very much for having me to the meeting. And and I must commend you on serving as the initial people actually at the embryonic stage when the West African Youth Network was still just crippling. So today, fast forward since then to now, we have been able to survive. And, as it is currently, we have a lot of programs that we are doing. Of course, as you all know, the caravan is one of the trademarks that we have. And currently, as we now speak, I think some of the programs we are doing for West African people
Mohammed, we can't hear you much. Maybe you will switch off your video so that you will be okay.
Yeah, Mohammed, we are losing you. So maybe if you turn off your video, you get a strong network.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
yes,
better. Let's hope it's on. Yeah.
So I was saying currently what we are now doing, we are working on a lot of projects here, but I follow the conversation keenly, and still we are developing young people, and what we now focus on is catching them young from schools onto for those who are actually mainstream youth, and for the marginalized ones, we also have projects that we are doing with them at the ghettos and other places to transform them. So, however, I have listened to your conversations, and exactly it appears, though a lot of you are very far, but you don't know the challenges also that WAYN is facing. We all know that WAYN since inception have been surviving on project basis, and as a result, where there are no projects, then there is always a problem even for volunteers retention. And as it is currently, since 2007, we are supported by USIWA, and away from the USIWA funding, there were key challenges for 2 years consecutively until the national endowment.
Okay,
Mohammed,
we were saying something very important, but it looks like we've lost him on that. So Mohammed, what you can do is, if you can not hear us because we can't hear you now, you can put that in summary into our Facebook platform, and then we'll read it, and then we'll pick it up from there. So on that note, before we go, guys. Before we go,
democracy came in also.
Oh, can you hear me now? Okay, Is it much better now? Okay, so my suggestion is that before we go, I want to also mention this, that let us not assume that every one of us is doing well. That will be a wrong assumption. And so please, if there's a job opening at your workplace, or if you know of any job that any of our colleagues here, just share it. You never know, because some may be doing job transitioning, and some will as well be needing a new job and all that. So let us not assume at all that everybody is doing well. Sometimes the reality is that people are going through challenges with their job and all that. And so I want to encourage everyone, let's reach out, or if somebody reach out to you privately, say, hey, I'm in a job hunt. If you know something, kindly send it out so that people will be able to take advantage of that. So I think on that note, I once again want to take this opportunity to thank every one of you for coming and for making this a beautiful historic moment. Particularly, I'm particularly interested in Dr. Silvanus Ayeni. Please, if you can send me your number or your email, and then I can add you to our platform to be a great advisor to us. And I want to thank all of you for coming and supporting this work. We'll mention the name of the date of our next meeting, and then we will pick it up from there. But this is a very good start, and I look forward to engaging all of you again. Again, if I don't have your number, please send your number here, and I will be able to put it on our WhatsApp platform. Otherwise, I will send the link to the Facebook platform, and then you can add on, and then we can move it from there. So on that note, I want to thank all of you.
I just sent you my number.
Yes, Abdul, I have yours. Thank you so much. I got it. All right.
Goodbye.
God bless all of you. Take care.
Bye, Joe. Nice meeting you all again.
Bye, everyone. Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye, everyone. I need to talk to you, Francis.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
I've not been able to do that. And then their interests, their position should also be part of what we should be looking at. We also have to look at how to integrate this issue from national to state, then to be COVID-19 to